I've had Christians, Jews say the same thing. Like, I'm gonna go with my white Christian brother, and we're gonna help the black people.
Raven, no one's saying you're wrong. You're not wrong. What you're doing is good.
I get what you're saying, but I'm giving you my testimony now, right? So I'm saying, and they go, yeah. And what happens when I see them? They don't do nothing, innit? Because it's not tangible. What it is, it's black people realizing that others are not included. It's like, others who are not included. The program is coming in. They have to be included. That's what's happening.
That's what it feels like to me as well.
Nah, it's not.
Nah, you're right. For me, as a non-black person, that's how I feel like they're seeing it. As in, I'm not included, therefore it's wrong.
Thank you.
I'm from Libya, innit? I don't feel like Libyans are going to be upset about black people having their own community and trying to rise.
You see,
I understand where you're coming from.
I don't mind you being upset. It's not about that. It's about me standing before Allah, I don't want to do something that's against the Quran.
No, I understand where you're coming from,
It's only religious.
But at the same time, I haven't got enough knowledge to know that.
Content over everything. And this is what I'm trying to tell you, right? There's a fear of black people to talk about the issues, right? And I want you to explain to me what that fear is. Because that's what
because look, after that conversation we had with Mohammed Hijab, it's really saddened to me that I looked in the comments.
Yes.
And the people that were making the comments that hurt me the most were from non-black Muslims.
Really well developed into
perpetuating negative stereotypes, talking about black people being caught up with weed and twerking and drugs and killing each other, that we're useless, we're never going to be able to come together and come up with a solution. Yeah, and as non-black Muslims, maybe not in relation to other non-Muslims, but in relation to their black Muslim community, they should be trying to aid us and uplift us rather than put us down. But it seems like because they don't go through the daily struggles that we go through, they can't empathize, let alone sympathize. So it's...
Now, when I come forward and I'm trying to get black Muslim brothers and sisters to work on your own issues, I'm called like a black supremacist. I'm saying that I hate Muslim, I hate Islam, and I'm trying to separate people.
It's not that. It's not that. It's the uplifting of the black people. And I feel like it's because other nations have been used to black people being at the bottom. And they fear us trying to empower ourselves because they feel like by us rising, we will be impairing their quality of life. Because we are the rubble at the end of the day. We are their footstools. So if we get up...
What has made you notice this? Because when I was talking similar stuff before, I was public enemy number one.
I've noticed the cognitive dissonance and the response of a lot of the non-black Muslims that some of them are my friends. Right. Some of them are people that I pray feet to feet with, and they talk to me and they say, "Nah, do you know what? You don't really have a bad issue like it is." And I'm saying to them, effectively, what they're saying to me is, my reality is warped. It's not true, because actually, no, I know this black guy, and he's never had any racism or whatever. He's the CEO of such and such a company. And when you try to explain that, hold on, actually, these people are like token people in these positions. Like, oh, you're always complaining. You got this victim mentality. Why don't you just pull yourself by the bootstraps? They don't. It's like, and they don't realize that even some of their communities perpetuate this thing. So they say, it's lip service, and for me it annoys me. Islam's not racist. Muslims are. Well, if Muslims are following Islam, and I'm the first person to free Islam from racism, but obviously there's something wrong with your Islam if you feel the need to downput another ethnic group, especially when they're from amongst people that call you brothers.
It's been passed down,
No, Islam's not to blame. Islam's not to blame. It's
the culture of that indigenous group.
Yeah, but these indigenous groups are claiming to practice Islam. So why are they claiming?
That's not Islam. We know that's coming from somewhere else.
But people don't know that it's Islam, because when you go on TV and you see representatives of Muslims, they don't bring you a brother like me. No. They bring you an Asian brother with a long beard, like Anjem Chowdhury, or they bring you some Pakistani woman. Right. And that is supposed to be, they are supposed to be the global or the national representatives of Muslims. Now, and the fact is that the Muslim diaspora is more diverse.
Those representatives need to
and that's why I keep saying the black Muslim brothers and sisters, it's up to you guys to change your own reality. You should never be looking outside of your collective group for that change. It has never been demonstrated, and it will never be demonstrated, right? That's why I want to come to the Speaker's Corner and get us all together and talk about solutions, innit, right? Now, there's things I'm doing that people can join on. But if we're not having this conversation, if people are scared of this conversation, then we're never going to get there, innit?
It's sort of like, look, some people, have said stuff like, and not to say the G Circle is the be all and end all of black empowerment, but they've said stuff like, don't join the G Circle, don't join black people, they're supremacists or whatever, trying to demonize the effort of the people. So as a black Muslim, someone who's trying to be obedient to Allah and follow the Quran to the T, follow the Sunnah to the T, you feel like this advice that these people are giving you is in your benefit. Just toe the line, submit, and everything will be fine in the next life. Not calling to mind that Allah has told us to, He has told us to work for the hereafter, but not forget our portion of this life. So if our portion of this life is crappy, then it's up to us to change our condition.
Yeah, but if you've got to think, right, there's other communities who are not practicing that. You know what I'm saying? And you might be the only group that is practicing that concept of just being humble and being at the bottom and just taking all the negative that comes your way and smiling. Yeah. I'm saying, from what I've observed, no other people group in the Muslim collective does that, or does it as well as black people.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, this isn't a Muslim issue. This is a black issue. Because when you go to Christian groups, Jewish groups, atheist groups, it's the same. Yeah. So I'm saying there needs to be something that ties us and that has us come together and work on solutions. But in order to have it, I need us to have a oneness here. I need us to be brave. And whenever you see Muslims that's kind of going off course, or whatever, go, no, brother, come here. And also, if you have non-black Muslim brothers who are saying certain things, feel free to go, brother, that's incorrect, isn't it? Yeah. That's incorrect.
But there's, like I was having a conversation with a brother the other day, a Somali brother and a mixed race brother. And some of them sometimes have this idealistic, utopic idea as well that we're not going through issues, or no matter what issues we're going through, we should just bear it and keep it moving. So I think part of the effort is in convincing our fellow melanated brothers that actually there is an issue, an issue at the community level, and we need to deal with it rather than.
Well, have they told you why they feel there is an issue? They said, what was the thing they gave?
So it's the same misnomers, like, we need to stop things like black people have this victim mentality. We're killing ourselves. Other nations have gone through what we've gone through and they've pulled themselves up. Did you ask them to define one? Did you ask them to define one nation that's been through what black people's gone through collectively? They couldn't.
They couldn't. So that's what I'm saying. You have to. If you ever talk to any black people, ask them, or any people, ask them questions, and you'll see that they'll give you the answers themselves, right? The Jews. No, the Jews. They went for 400 years of enslavement. Did they lose their language, their religion? Were they given reparations?
Yeah, they were given reparations.
Well,
every other group hasn't got.
Yeah.
Every other group has got reparations, but black people haven't.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say.
But what reparations can you give for 400 years of transatlantic slavery and other stuff that we've gone through as well?
Well, to be honest, I don't even think on that level there. What I'm saying is you've demonstrated because your mind isn't processing the same way that others will process. Does that make sense? So you've already said, yeah, it's equal, but there's no people group that I've seen that's gone through what black people have gone through. And it seems to be very challenging to explain that to black people, whether they're Muslim or non-Muslim. And I say that's part of us being trained to be subservient and acceptance of our reality. If you go look at the truth, if this goes live, go look at the YouTube comments, and you can say, "Oh, this black brother, he's just this, that, the third. He's just complaining. Him and the other Muslim guy, even though he's an Arab, they're both the same skin tone. They've had the same experience. You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah. Couldn't be anything further from
and that's what I'm trying to say, right? But that's what I'm saying. Black people, right? You can actually empathise with other black people. Non-black people cannot. Yeah. So if we don't, and I want to see where are the black Muslims? Why are they not here? Come to the camera. Yeah. Tell the camera about your experience, bro. I want to hear your experience, right? Don't be scared, isn't it? This black Muslims here. Why is it that when it's night time you can't see them? They disappear on the rest? What's going on?
Too dark.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the thing, bro. But when the camera's off, everyone's got an opinion. Yeah, and then, you know what it is? I think that a lot of black Muslims are actually being put off by the negative racist comments they get.
No doubt.
The dedicated racist comments.
For me, I've got thick skin, so I don't really give a damn what anyone says in the comments after. Most of the people in the comment section don't have lives anyway. But it's like, but it is, like, talking in public is something that we shied away from. Being representatives of our community is something that we shied away from. Yeah. And it's like, people like Respect and Jedi, we're not similar in any ideology or any sort of philosophy. Yeah? But one thing I've got to give them ratings for is they're unapologetically black and they speak on the issues that affect them, and they don't give a damn what people say about them. And that's how we as black Muslims should be, rather than just bearing
Some are, but they haven't got a voice out there.
Well, I want them to come here so they can have their voice, innit?
We have to
Yeah?
contact them.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. If you are a black Muslim, you see me, Rap Raven on Facebook, whatever, let's try to get together. I run a collectible mailing where there's many black Muslims in there, and we're literally in there trying to better ourselves, innit? But I don't want black people to be scared of coming to black people, and if a non-black person tells you not to hang with black people, you should be very suspicious of that person.
There's nothing.
Very suspicious.
There's nothing in the Quran that prohibits you from helping your people. Yeah. In fact, the Quran says, "Qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara." Save yourselves and your people from the fire first. Yeah. When the Prophet, peace be upon him, came, he came to his people first. Yeah. No people can be successful until they change the condition of their own people. And Allah has said that in the Quran. There is nothing in the Quran that is against what we are doing.
Now,
If people are just telling you to avoid going and helping black people together, then that's wrong.
well, that's what, if you look at the videos week to week, that is what's demonstrated here. Now, any black person, you're here now, tell me a fear or a challenge you might have when it comes to for you helping yourself. Just so I'm here, so we can articulate ourselves. If there's a black person who thinks helping black people, for your own economic group, training group, trying to train people who have been marginalized, if there's an issue with this or an issue you see, let me know so we can talk about it. But don't wait until the camera's off for you to be giving a whole lot of YouTube comments and so forth. Let me know now so I can answer you, because if you look at any debate I've had with any non-black Muslim or even black Muslim, right, I think it ends by me, everything I say was demonstrated, yeah? And I don't mean to point fingers, but many non-black Muslims, without knowing it, will practice certain forms of racism without even knowing it, I'm assuming, by the words they say, the things they utter, right? And I'm saying this has been demonstrated week to week, yeah? So I'm saying, if there's any issues, let me know now, innit? But if not, I'm expecting all black Muslims to gather around me and themselves, yeah, to work on solutions for our own community. That's
And we don't
Definitely,
need.
you gotta be stamping it out. So black Muslims and non-black Muslims have to stamp it out when they see it. A lot of people just turn a blind eye to it. Like, I've seen people just by their body language how they treated another man who's a black man next to me. Do you understand? Yeah. But people ain't on stamping it out. Well, they don't want to have that conversation.
I'm glad you said that,
they
because
want to go home and that's it.
You're kind enough to mention that, and I, if there's any other non-black Muslims here, you've probably seen it yourself, right? Yeah. Now here's what it is. The truth of the matter is, I'm not here to deal with racism. Everyone thinks I'm here to fight racism. I'm here for black people to improve their condition. That's it. Yeah, but it just so happens that racism is an issue there, right? And people have testimonies that I'm gonna listen to and hear out. But I don't ever want to sit down and wallow in grief. Oh, black people. Blah, blah, blah. I'm saying we come together on strength, we build on strength, and it really does not matter what any person outside the collective has to say. It cannot matter.
I was going to say that we don't need the opinions and the solutions of non-black Muslims.
No.
Yeah, and that's not to say that I wouldn't listen to them. But what we're saying is, instead of coming up with solutions of how black people can help themselves, how about coming up with solutions of how you can eradicate the oppression that comes from the way of your communities? How about going into your masajid and talking to the elders and telling them, you know that prayer that you keep calling Qala? Stop saying that. Yeah, stop mentioning these racist terms.
People are
yeah,
not bothered to
allow them to mix within your communities. Teach them, take them in, be hospitable like you're supposed to be. Yeah.
Integration.
Well, if you, yeah, I don't even like that word, integration. But
injustices, basically.
be a community.
Yeah, that's what it. Yeah.
Be a community.
Yeah.
Stop ousting us to the end of the community. You know, respond with the salams when we give you salams. We're not kuffar. Yeah, we're not all reverts. I am, but not every black person is a revert.
Well, whether you're a revert or not, the salam is like it's for Allah and it's for yourself. Like
100%.
Yeah.
But when I mentioned revert as well, it's as if, and it's with Asians.
Like a stigma.
They don't realise that Islam came to us before it came to them.
More specifically to UK, how is it?
And it seems to pee them off. But I would say, Islam came to us whilst your forefathers were worshipping elephants. Yeah, that's the fact of the matter. So don't look at us like we're second-class citizens. We're not.
You need to get them brothers that are willing to admit it, and they're the ones that are going to engage. But there's no other avenue.
Yeah, but there's the arts. There's people that have influence.
Yeah, people have influence, but they still got to be willing to engage the community.
Right. So, but that's what I'm saying. This is where we get, yeah. And I don't want to call no one out, yeah. But one of the speakers in this corner, I listened to a whole talk about him talking about Siddiq Hassan Khan, yeah. Siddiq Hassan Khan is one of the Zahiri scholars that was in Sindh in India, yeah. And he's come up with the story, and other Indian scholars, because he is Punjabi, Pakistani, or of that ethnicity. But then in the park, he said, when he's heard other ethnic groups tweaking, don't push up the ethnic groups. Don't speak about this. So how is it that it's... And then he said he actually tries to help black people with their issues. But I've never heard them mention the story of any African scholars. And there's many of them, from Ethiopia to Ghana. Right. So...
Well, like, also, like people that are not black don't have the same problem as black people. So maybe from his humble position, right, he doesn't feel the same kind of pain that black people feel.
Right.
So maybe that's why he don't talk about that so much.
But he should empathize, yeah?
He doesn't know that, maybe.
No, but we talk to our brothers and sisters. They know. Yeah. A lot of them, when you speak to them, they know.
But maybe I'm telling you like that. That's why he doesn't talk about that.
That's
maybe.
fine, but that's not the majority of people. Like where we, in our communities, yeah. I'm 27, so I, like in our estates and stuff in London, there is a collective of different ethnic groups.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all grew up on the street together. True. Yeah. When we're in a gang, yeah, and I'm the only one that gets stopped. Yeah. Because you guys are other ethnic groups, then you know. You can't, you cannot, you can no longer claim ignorance.
Yeah. It's true that.
Because you see this all the time. To the point where you know, for example, that you can give your white friend drugs specifically because you know he won't get searched.
Yeah.
But you will. I'm just saying you can't claim ignorance. Yeah. There's too much of the discrimination going on, and even by one of the brothers said, even by way of your own parents, when you bring that black brother home and they're saying, should I hide my purse in the room? Oh, yeah.
But brother, I can say that same for example about women, right?
You can say
have you ever walking out out of the house a day and thought about, am I going to be raped today? Sorry?
I've never thought about that.
Women always think about that.
Right? No, but I've never thought about
that. I'm just,
I get it. That you don't have.
So
but the difference is,
people have different
brother.
But you have to be very much.
I haven't thought about it, but I can 100% empathize with a woman.
No, but would you try?
Sorry,
would you try to stop a woman from coming together with other women to work on the solutions for that issue?
No.
And that's my point, isn't it? That there is a force out there that's potentially trying to stop black Muslims from working on their betterment.
No, but bro, you see, I think the reason why they do that, right? As a Muslim, right? My allegiance is not to my blackness first; it's being a Muslim first. You understand that? So maybe that. For example, like my white brother, right? My Muslim brother, right? He's more needed to me than you as a black person. You understand? So maybe they're coming from that point of view.
Sorry. When you go and get married, what tribe are you? Do you mind me asking?
I'm Somali.
You're Somali. You don't identify with any tribe?
Like in Somalia?
Yeah.
I'm mixed. Like my mom.
Okay, so I'll give you an example.
I know about that.
So I grew up with Salafi brothers, and some of them were Hawiya. Yeah. Some of them were Ishaqi.
Yeah.
When it comes to marriage,
they were. Yeah, it's difficult for them.
So these people claim that they're upon them mutadayyin, they're religious. But when it comes to a matter of tribe, the religion goes out the door.
But the problem,
culture comes forward.
But Ashabs had that problem. The Ashabs had that problem. Not us. The Ashabis had the problem with that. And the Prophet always used to work on that problem. Like as a human being.
Did he correct them?
Yes.
Did they learn from the correction?
Yeah.
Fine.
But they had the problem. They had the problem.
That problem.
That's the problem.
Did it remain in them?
I don't think so. No.
No. They had it. It's an issue. It was a symptom.
And it was fixed.
It was a symptom of their society.
Yeah.
And the Prophet ﷺ remedied it with Islam.
Yes.
So these issues that we have, should be remedied by Islam. We can't say we're upstanding Muslims, and then say, Fulan is Midgan, so I'm not going to marry him. What's that?
Here's what it is, right?
I understand.
Here's what it is. The black people that I'm seeing are not in a position of power to make any kind of change in it. So that's why it's necessary for you guys to come together and build on those issues. Yeah. So the principle is a Muslim's meant to love another Muslim, right? That's the principle. However, that's not being practiced by your non-black Muslim brothers collectively. Therefore, if you then don't practice a similar thing, to fix that, you will always be low.
Yeah. But see here then, like where we are in power, right? We are still racist.
Say again?
Where we are in power, right? Black people are in power, right? For example, like Somalis, right? Like I know Somali that even will reject his daughter to a white river.
He's saying he'll give his daughter
not to a white revert.
Well, I don't
You understand that?
That's
He's
because of
basically
culture.
saying it,
Yeah,
That's
so
because of culture.
That's
It's
a
got nothing to do
culture.
with
It's not
religion.
about being black culture. It's about not being that. See that, right?
It's about because he thinks he's better than everybody
Yeah.
else.
So
that's
he's racist. Yeah.
Right.
different problem.
But it's not like so even like where we have power, people are racist. We think this country people are racist because they're white, right?
No one thinks that. No.
No, because they are in the power. They're in the power.
People think you're racist because you practice racism, man. So when someone practices racism, then they become racist.
Racist, yeah. But in this country, right, the white people are the majority. So
Okay.
Doesn't matter though. All people that are
No,
not
but
us.
I mean, where some people are in the majority, the minority will always feel racism.
Well, no, because
always feel racism.
there are some minorities that dominate. There are some minorities that have quite a dominating structure because they've infiltrated certain government groups and they've got they've
But
got their
still,
economic.
they feel racism against them.
Say again?
They still feel like not
Here's what it is,
accepted.
right? I never want us to bog down this concept of racism. It's literally like this, right? Yeah. Black people come together to work on black issues. It isn't really that deep. I'm saying that every other people group, and if they're here, they'll tell you. If anyone who's non-black, see how they identify, and they'll tell you, yeah, we do this, innit? But black people, we're always trying to find reasons not to. And you always goes, I'm a Muslim brother. That might make sense, right? But other people group are not practicing that, innit?
Yeah.
And why is it that the most worse off have to practice it? Does that make sense? The people who've historically been the most mistreated, they're the ones who are expected to practice everything. But everyone else is fine. Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say, right? And I'm sad to say is that this is the dedication I'm talking about. Black people are dedicated to try to find ways to not do betterment. If I come to you and say, bro, we're at the bottom, let's come together, it should be, that makes sense, doesn't it? If that isn't the answer, then I'm thinking, what is psychologically going on in the minds of black people where it just doesn't make sense?
I think one of the major things that stops us from cooperating with each other is the different systems that we use, and different. It's not necessarily the system, but it's the moral codes.
Right.
Like the brother was saying, if you're dealing with interest, I might not necessarily want to deal with that, but it's trying to draw that line and come into that balance where if you have your establishment, you can keep your establishment upon your moral code. That's not going to affect me.
Yeah.
I can build mine, and when we meet, where we can agree, we agree, and we keep it and we keep it moving.
Yeah. Like I said before, if we're having meetings, if you're not in the meeting, you're not getting first-hand information. If I say I want to make a vegan store, you might want to make a halal store. Doesn't matter. But then you might be a Muslim vegan.
Yeah.
We don't know how until we talk. How do we know, right? Yeah. So I'm saying that's why it's very important that we have the conversations. And it's very important that we have a code of conduct. Because without a code of conduct, as you've seen before, the anxiety is going to go through the roof, and we're going to run away. And remember, black people are the very best at hating black people. No one can hate black people more than black people. We've been trained so well that we're more likely to run away from a black conversation than a non-black conversation. This is being demonstrated week to week, right? So I'm saying, I'm keep repeating myself, every time I come here, I want every black Muslim to come talk to me, and I would like to get a certain like a sex segment going sometime where black Muslims are talking about black Muslim issues. And as time goes by, we can integrate that.
There was a video on Facebook about that. I don't know if whoever saw it. There was one where they put exactly what you just said now.
Right.
It was in a video, and then the people they like even the people when they go to the mosque, and then the sister say to them, "Oh, what, do you know how to read Al-Fatiha?" He said, "Yeah, of course I know how to read Al-Fatiha. What?" And
like a social experiment.
Yeah. And then it's like what, because I'm black, I don't, and I'm revert, I don't know how to say that. And it's yeah.
And then I keep saying, I never like talking about non-black issues. So I always say that once black people empower themselves in these situations, then these things don't happen. Yeah, you don't need to look because you don't have to be looking for a job from another group when you're making a job yourself. This is just basic stuff that for some reason we just don't want to embrace.
Goes over our heads. Yeah, because it's a thing of. A lot of it is this reverse racism thing. Like my thing's always been, I don't allow somebody else's treatment of me, affect my treatment of them. Yeah. But what I've realised now is I've got that conflated with just trying to better myself. Yeah. I don't have to tread on you to lift myself up.
This is the thing. A lot of black people think that if you erect institutions that come up to work on black issues, that somehow you're waging war on non-black people. You run down the street with poles hitting everyone.
Yeah.
That don't make no
but
sense.
it's down to a guilty conscience as well.
For some reason, that's the image they've given us.
It's down to a
that's the
guilty
image that
conscience.
Try to start society.
That's the image that non-black people are given to us. Every time I talk about black people, look, go back, go type Rap Raven, type all my conversations, right? And every time I talk to a non-black person about black people improving their condition, they keep on making likes to Hitler and to KKK, and I don't understand where this coming from.
Yeah, it's a guilty conscience. It's as if they've looked at all the other groups that have oppressed us and thought, well, we're gonna somehow get strong and try and gain some sort of retribution.
No,
it's some fear and some guilt that's built in them. But if you haven't done anything wrong, what do you have to?
Exactly. This is what I'm saying.
Really, it's that person is not sincere or cares about your condition. That's what it comes down to.
The majority of people I speak to do not care. They
really don't care, but they want to word it properly to cover themselves.
Well,
100%,
They
yeah.
walk away looking morally, ethically.
So they look like they're on a pedestal or whatever. But yeah.
It's like if you don't think about it, it's not an issue.
Because like I said, you can have the same core values and whatever religious difference you've got, like interests, you've got the same driving force.
Of course.
And don't get me twisted, me as a Muslim, I'll always try and advise people and call people to Islam. Yeah, but there's mannerisms and the ways you do it, and there's times and places for things. Yeah, there's a time for economic development and there's a time for calling people to the deen. And you know, you have to distinguish between the two. You know, one of the key sort of social experiments that I looked at that sort of affected my opinion was looking at, they got a Sikh, in the Punjab region, not Punjab, in Pakistan. Yeah, Pakistan is predominantly Muslim, and they got a Sikh, and they got a Muslim brother to pretend that he was oppressing the Sikh man, right? And then all the people came out and jumped on the Muslim brother. What are you doing? He's one of our brothers. Doesn't matter if he's Sikh. Backing him, establishing justice in the land for him. And I thought, wow, these people, they stand up for their statesmen. Like, you can see this ethnic pride within them. Where is this when it comes to their fellow?
Person's still human, innit?
Right. So where is this when it comes to their fellow Muslim brother, a black Muslim brother, or someone outside of the ethnic group? I haven't seen anything like that.
He's been indoctrinated that brother can live down there.
It's got a point. It's got a point. Especially in the UK and in Europe, there's all types. There's always a segregation. So like they say, oh yes, Islam. But when you go to the mosque, you have certain groups. You have maybe Somalis on one side, you have Pakistanis on another side, the Arabs, whichever Arab they are, on one side, and then you have the kind of all the above on the other side, like reverts and whatever. But they don't collectively come together. There's no cohesion, so that I'm a brother like you. We have to stand together. The only time they stand together is just in Salah.
Well, they don't even do that.
Sometimes.
Because in Salah they got a whole.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, I'm gonna stand next to my friend. I'm gonna stand next to my friend.
Like to the point what Hussein mentioned. You put. Bro, it's like footsie. Like putting your foot next to someone and they're moving it away. Yeah, and it's so deep that the Prophet, peace be upon him, spoke about the reason why we keep the feet together is to join the hearts. So it is just a display that your heart's not joined with me. The fact that you're separating means.
yeah, it's true.
So people's hearts have become, cold and,
Is there any black Muslim brothers who want to come forth and say something? Like, and they want to?
Can I say something?
Yeah, most certainly can. There you go.
I agree with everything you said, but you see in masjids, Somali brothers, Arab brothers, Albanian brothers.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put that down to discrimination. It's more of they just speak the same language. So because most of the brothers here, the older ones that are in corners together, they're the older generation, mashallah. They came from country to here, so they just mingle with the old people.
No, but then you get also Somalis that Somalis that speak Arabic.
And you see them
you get even some African people from where are you from?
I'm from Ghana.
From Ghana. You get people from Ghana, from Nigeria that even speak Arabic.
Yeah, of course.
But what you find is, maybe this is just me being nationalistic, but when you find an African masjid, the people bring everybody in. There's none of this people separating into group stuff. Everyone is brought in as a collective. Right.
You saying when the Africans do
With
it?
the Africans, and they're the only ones to do it.
So, and once again, but that's not exclusive within Muslim community.
No,
It's
exactly,
everything.
yeah.
Black people are always the most inclusive.
Welcoming, yeah.
Right? And it's funny, we're the most inclusive, but we're also the most mistreated. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're the ones who care about ourselves least. Right? So it's like, if we don't change this, who's going to change it?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Yeah? That's what I'm saying. Carry on. Let me give your testimony. Say what you're saying, innit? Is there any black Muslims who want? Because the thing is,
How you say it, man?
no black. Let me not force you if you don't want to be in here. But I'm saying if you got something to say, about betterment, now's the time, innit? Yeah.
You got something else to say against betterment as well. Let us hear what your point is.
One thing I heard, you said about the feet touching,
Yeah.
that could be different schools of thought Islamically. I even had Somalis or black people, move their feet away from me, but that's because they come from a different religious angle. There's different schools of thought. Like Salafis,
But
though.
what he's saying as well is
Salafis
the
will definitely
general-
put the feet together.
Definitely, they'll stick it
But
together.
other madahibs, they won't do it. They actually believe it's better not to put the feet together.
They'll concentrate on the hill.
So, but some people will take it the wrong way. That's what I'm saying.
But also, you're right as well. People,
Yeah.
sometimes it's based on discrimination as well.
So
There's different theories.
it's a
Some
general
people,
thing,
this one. I was in a mosque one time. It was in Ladbroke Grove, and then the Imam said, he says, put your feet, shoulders and feet together, because that's how the angels pray in Jannah.
And the shaitan gets in between, isn't it?
Yeah, and the shaitan gets in between. Thank you. Who said that?
So the
Thank you,
Imam
bro.
says straighten your lines, feet to feet, shoulder to shoulder.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that the shaitan doesn't come between you.
Exactly.
There's a lot of
If there's a logic to it, there is a logic to it.
Yeah. Bro, even let's say the feet to feet was not an issue, bro. The whole other stuff of you, even when you sit there in the corner and everyone's got their head at you, like, are you even Muslim? That's for me. That's
Especially when you
the,
walk into the mosque.
That's like, they look at you.
No, it's
Yeah,
like
that's
if you're not wearing a coat, it's not. If,
Maybe I didn't feel it as much, because I'm
Yeah.
not as darker, but I felt it just from being from a different place.
yeah.
It's not nice, especially when you're coming.
But is that a black issue though, in terms of what you just said? Like, you say you come into a mosque and they just look at you. Is that a black issue, or is that just a matter of the majority are one particular colour?
It's a black issue, brother. They don't do that with white people. They don't do that with white people. They bring them in.
People don't go, oh, what's he up to? Or something like that. Don't people have to have that?
Let me show you the difference, yeah? When you got Asian masajid, when white people come in, it's a treat. It's like, oh, we've got a white person. It's some sort of a badge for them. Yeah. This is,
I'm not gonna lie, I've had it with a shopkeeper that I've known for 10 years myself.
bro.
The guy's got served before me and he's just blanking me, but then he carries on the conversation with me afterwards, like nothing happened.
Yeah. Sometimes I just turn an eye to it. But when the black person comes in, no one don't see to him. I'm saying it's a black issue, brother. If someone needs to show me some sort of evidence that it's not.
I'm not gonna lie.
Look, I've been in the masjid,
Right.
like, which is predominantly Arabs and Somalis.
Right.
Yeah? Now, one time, even myself, when a white man comes in who's a Muslim, I go, because it's something different, isn't it? So am I putting that to, a case of, it's just a difference, someone different that just come in, rather than I hate this person.
Did you stare at him up until the iqama and up until after the salah? You didn't, bro. Yeah, you saw him.
You
glanced
thought-
at him, you
Brother,
glanced.
I see it as well. Like if I'm looking at a video and I see a qari that's from Russia or something or Uzbekistan, I'm like, mashallah, I haven't seen a brother from there. And you give them, it's like a
Rarity,
yeah, like and it's something you feel proud of, yeah, not screw faces, brother. Like you've just walked into someone else's end. It's not that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think as black people collectively, we have to try not to keep on making excuses for people, right? There's no benefit in making excuses for people who are mistreating us, right? No benefit. The benefit is loving yourself and trying to find solutions, yeah? That's what it is. You can't beg someone to like you. If you think that it's beneficial to stand and beg people to like you, then you're going to have a lot of trouble.
And let me say as well, I feel like I've slated Asians a lot. That's not my thing. It's not just Asians.
No.
Yeah, I felt it from Arabs. Yeah, I felt it even amongst my fellow Somali brothers as well that are standing around me.
I know. You're not saying that everyone. You're not saying that everyone is there, but you're saying there is certain pockets of people.
There's an undertone.
Yeah, undertone there, and the funny thing is, many people from those groups have just confirmed it anyway. So It is what it is. But I keep saying, I don't like talking about other people, I like talking about black people, and I like talking about solutions, and I'm saying that we need to join every single
You know what it is? At the end of the day, it's up to that person's ideology, how he's not basically seeing that person, firstly, as a human, secondly, as a brother. He's just saying something, he's just seeing the colors, he's not seeing like the person. Like when you see a person, they say love is blind. There's no color in love. But when you start, putting black, white, green, blue, pink, whatever, then this is where the trouble starts. But if you see like, if you just see love, like you just love everyone. Like me, I don't have a problem with no one. I don't have a problem with Christians. I don't have a problem with Jews. I love everyone. Even if they weren't religious or whatever, you're still a human at the end of the day. So
You deserve to be treated with respect.
Every human deserves to be treated with respect.
The problem is, you're saying that, but every single person will say the same thing. But racism is still being practiced. So someone is telling the truth.
It's easy.
Does that make sense?
What's the phrase? It's easier said than done.
Yeah, so everyone's going to say, if you put them on the spot, I love everyone, innit?
Yeah.
But when you look at what's being practiced, that isn't the case.
Yeah.
So I'm saying for black people, it isn't even about worrying about that, it's about focusing on yourself. It's not about walking around, do you love me? Do you love me? Who cares?
No, and you know where
discrimination in the masjid, aren't we?
The people
no, there are people because it's the previous, it's the culture. Sorry.
Because he hasn't spoken.
I have a start here, bear in mind. When I was in Arabia, I was just 10 years old. I lived there for a couple of months. The racism that I received there was extremely bad.
Was it bad?
Other kids told me, "Oh, you're extra dark. So why are you so dirty?" All this stuff.
Yeah.
Other kids telling me, and I was just 10 years old. So where are these kids getting it from? Other Arabs.
They get it from their family.
A dark Indian guy who's even darker than me is telling me, "Why you're dirty?"
Yeah, well, and this is why I keep saying that.
That's where culture comes into Islam.
Every country has been colonized by white people. Every single culture has been colonized by white people.
Also, a big
Not every single culture. Not every single.
Almost every culture known to man has been colonized by white people. That's
Well,
a fact.
yeah, they
And
basically
that is where
owned the
racism
world at
comes-
one time.
That's where the racism comes from.
No, I'd
That's
say
the colonialism.
I don't think that caste system didn't come from.
Came from India. It came from India.
The fact that
caste
certain
system
races
came from
colonize makes them look superior. That's how it gets in that side in
All these kids get it
where he's
from their
coming
parents or
So
what?
when we look at India, and you look at their approach to Sri Lankans, they say that Sri Lankans are the black people of the Asian continent.
Yeah.
That indicates, that black people have a low standing amongst them, and it's not.
Okay,
It's not to do
but
with
let me
colonialism, but that caste system.
Okay, but sorry if I'm interrupting you. What about the people that live in North India? What about the people of New Delhi? What about the people of Madras? What about the people? They're black as well.
And are they not mistreated?
They are.
Are they not?
They are and they're not. There are from them that are being mistreated, and there are from them now because there's more awareness and everything. There is more integration now.
And now black people, I keep telling you, it isn't about trying to convince
They're trying to
non-black
break those
people who've been
barriers.
mistreated. It's about coming together and doing your own thing. I keep saying I never like to talk about non-black people ever.
But a big problem amongst us is other melanated people that don't seem to share.
Yeah.
And the racist towards you. Because
Yeah.
a couple months ago for me, in the summer, I had a Sri Lankan friend, and his uncle had a job. So my friend hollered me, "Oh, I have a job." Okay, cool. I said, "Oh, can I get the job?" Innit? So he asked his uncle and told him, "The guy's black." No, and so my friend told me this lie. So he hired his other Arab friend and this Pakistani guy. And then my friend actually told me,
What can I do?
What can I do?
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. And that's
my
exactly what I'm
uncle's
saying. As a collective group, we shouldn't be begging for anywhere.
Do you
We
know
should
what's
be
deep
making
about
our
that,
own.
Raven? Yeah, is I 100% know, that for me, if I bought like one of my white bedrooms or whoever, and my uncle said that, I would have been like, "You dumb? Like, what do you mean?" I would have backed it for him to the team.
Of course you would. Of course, but you're black, and that's what we've been trained to be. To always fight for other causes other than our own, right? But every other people group don't have that. Listen, history has placed us in a very negative place in the psychological minds of non-black people. Yeah, so much so that I don't even think about that. It's not even an interest now. The interest is the psychological minds of my collective black brothers and sisters, isn't it? That's why I'm very dedicated. That's why I'm saying, let me help you help yourselves. Yeah, because when you help yourselves, you're helping us. That's it. Now, brother, I'm hoping we can have careers and jobs for you, so you don't have to go to other people and ask them for them to disrespect you because of your phenotype.
Yeah.
Yeah. How good
I
is
deeped
that?
it then. That's why I was like, raw. Just because I'm black.
Them things they definitely hurt.
Yeah.
It hurt deeply.
Another thing is, they say there is a theory. Sorry if I'm interrupting anyone. There is another theory that to say that no, you're amongst other black people. No, you're not black. You're just dark skinned. Like you can get
like
people.
Yeah,
You can get like
So you got,
Arabs
like-
that are really dark as well. You can get people from Iraq. They're really dark.
Oh,
skinned.
Yemenis.
Yeah, and Yemenis.
Yeah.
I'm from
Oh,
Yemen, so it's like.
they're black. Wow, that's but that's
But
what
they
I'm
don't
saying.
regard them as being black.
But you
But
don't
this
see
is-
them in parliament or nothing.
No, but this is the issue, yeah, because you see that melanated black Arab that you see, yeah.
Yeah.
Psychologically, he sees himself, yeah, with the lighter skinned Arab that they're brothers and you're an outsider. So you will face more opposition from that black Arab,
of course.
yeah,
wanna
than
ruin
you
his
will
face.
from
Doesn't wanna
someone
ruin
who's
his
lighter than him. That's why I say we have an
But-
issue with melanated people as
But
well.
remember, this is a universal global thing, because if you go to Dominican Republic, yeah, they will identify more with the Spanish enslavers rather than the enslaved Haitians and enslaved black. And this is why a lot of them bleach and so forth, right? This is what I'm saying. When you're part of a system that they describe as systematic white supremacy, this is what's going to happen.
That's what it is.
Yeah, and the only way to get around is by coming.
I'm saying it goes back to colonialism.
Yeah, this is the legacy of colonialism. Yeah, of course, and we haven't recovered from that, isn't
It's
it?
not
Right?
easy to unravel the structure.
It isn't, but that's exactly why we have to be around each other in isolation to deal with these situations.
I think personally we should break these sociological barriers, and black, white, Asian, whatever. We should just come together.
It's easier said than
Now,
done.
what this brother said is, what this brother is saying is,
Because at the end of the day, we're all human,
oh,
innit?
brother, now, what you're saying is exactly what I have to train black people to be aware of, because this is feel-good language and it is good, but it isn't tangible, practical. Like
Why
non-black
isn't it not tangible? Tell me why.
hold on.
But majority of the people think
give me
it's
this.
Idealistic and utopic, but
Give
it's not
me
gonna go down.
give me the step-by-step process that you can practice that's going to allow this mistreatment to end.
Okay, so I'll give an example.
Give me an example.
When you go to let's say you go to the bank,
Right.
and you see someone that's not black, you're gonna have to
Oh,
deal.
there's two conversations. If you got a conversation, come here, bro. So you stand in the shadows, come in there. Hold on. In it, come here. Yeah. I've talked to you before. I already know you're. So I would like to talk to you, but if you don't come, that's fine. But because you got a lot to say.
Listen. You're saying that it's not tangible or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm saying, let's say for example, there's something wrong with the. Let's say you said something wrong with your council tax.
Is this an example you're giving how non-black people are gonna?
No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying, just generally.
Right.
You're like, okay. So you're going for your council tax, yeah, and the person that you're seeing is, for example, a non-black person or whatever, or someone of another country. Now, if that person,
I have to stop you because
if that person,
his brother's talking loud. I can hear all the things.
can you stop?
Yeah.
Please?
Can you stop?
Can you stop? Can you stop?
Yeah.
Let me finish.
Let
Let me finish. What I,
sorry, because this is shouting. What's going on? Yeah, sorry. So, yeah.
okay. You'll get your turn. You'll get your turn.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So that person, you're going to, he's going to help you with your council tax. If he helped you, resolve your problem,
Right.
does that mean you're not going to, you're going to have more respect for him or less respect for him?
So, on the individual level, if a non-black person does a good thing for a black person, that's great, and you can have an actual build like he's my friend, come to my house, have pizza.
Yeah.
But I'm saying you haven't talked about any collective way of
But
living.
that
that's
doesn't. Say for example, say you hated white people.
Okay.
Let's say hypothetically,
Right.
someone hates white people
Okay, cool. Yeah.
for whatever reason. Now that a white person has helped him with this example of the council tax,
Right.
he's got a problem with the council tax. The guy's helping him, he's resolved him. it changes his whole perception of white people.
No. It changes perception of that person.
No. It changes his perception. It changes.
I go as far as to say it doesn't even always change that perception of that person.
No, not that person. It changes that perception of that
I'm saying
community.
The person helped. Yeah, you're saying that, for example, let's say black people hated white people, and a
Yeah.
white person turn around and help him.
Yeah.
That's going to necessarily change the person of a black person towards the whole of the white community.
Exactly.
No,
Exactly.
that's a utopic result.
How's that utopic result? Tell
Because
me.
it doesn't always fruitify.
But then
itself
it,
like that.
but by
You might
definition,
that black person might see that the white person aided him due to some benefit that white person gets. In which
Okay.
case it's not sincere.
But at the time, the gesture that he helped him, by definition, if he hates white people, you should hate him as well.
Yeah,
doesn't
but
he?
when we're coming from an angle
Yeah,
of
it doesn't matter.
no one's talking about hate.
Doesn't mean it doesn't hate him.
Yeah, no one's talking about hate.
Just
though, are
because he
they?
took his aid doesn't mean he doesn't hate him.
But
You can take the aid of people that
How
hate.
would you say that? That's a paradox. That's completely the opposite of what's happening.
So, but remember, we start by you saying loving everyone is the
Yes.
solution, right?
Yes.
And I'm saying, can
Yes.
you give me a practical step-by-step guide of how to do that? And you talk about
I'm saying it's like, for example, if you hate a certain sect of people,
Okay, let me
and
tell
that
you.
sect of people helped you,
Right.
even if it's one person, if it's 10 people,
Right.
you can say at the end of the day, you can say to yourself, not all people from that community are bad.
At least
They're all good and they're all bad.
Everyone thinks that way.
Now, hold on.
Do you understand?
This is the confusion.
Like to
right?
say.
I'm not here to talk about bad non-black people. I'm here to talk about black people helping themselves. Yeah. Now, when I say that, non-black people say, "Why don't we love everyone?" And I'm saying, well, give me the step-by-step tangible method of how that is, and then stories come that has nothing to do with the conversation. I'm saying my solution to black people for any problem is to walk amongst themselves. Yeah.
But
That's what it is.
not really a solution.
Wait,
that's
can
just
I elaborate on that point?
that's
He
just
said-
Solution, to be honest.
He said
You can't walk among themselves.
he said spread love. Everyone should love themselves, right?
yes.
He's saying he can't.
Spread
Yeah.
love themselves and
Listen,
love
wait,
each other.
Good people, you work together to help black people. Good people from other
Now,
races.
my
Leaving out the black people.
They're hypothetical.
my-
You're not gonna have
hold on.
bad black people
My
trying to
job,
help
hold on,
I'm
friend.
saying there's lots of hypotheticals.
My job is to
These people
train
not
you
coming forward doing
how
it.
to never think that way. To never
need to
think
draft,
what if.
draft
To never
something
go,
in writing.
What if a non-black person loves me?
Everyone
It's
should
like,
put their
no.
signatures.
The reason why black people are collectively where we are is because we keep thinking.
Make an
that,
amendment.
Yeah? We keep thinking, what if there's a nice Chinese man who's going to come and buy me a
There
land?
are some nice Chinese.
But even if there is, that is not a collective concept that Chinese people are going to be thinking because they have their own issues to sort about, right? No Chinese man is sitting there thinking, I wonder how much I can help a guy from Nigeria, right? Yeah, I'm saying that from your own identifiable groups, you want to start building.
You start with yourself. I understand. I agree with you.
You don't have to,
If
yeah.
somebody wants to
On
help
a-
you,
on-
Chinese, I'm
yeah,
like, come.
Yeah, of course. But I'm saying, but what I'm saying,
He's been years and years. with this.
yeah, I'm saying on a collective level, I'm saying right now, starting this, you see, us three come together and we discuss something. That's happening now, right? We don't have to wait for someone to give. Yeah, that's all it is. So, but anything else outside of that actually doesn't make sense. Like anything to do with let's love each other
Say
one by
he
one.
wants to come in and
No,
help
let's
us,
love
yeah?
each other can come
And he's a
into
good guy,
it,
wait.
but I can come to it through a religious
Say he's not
perspective.
racist.
If you look
yeah,
at
and he
it,
help us. How am I going to turn him away?
Exactly.
You can help me.
No,
okay.
no one's
and
saying.
after he helps you, you'll feel a bit of warmness
No
to
one's
people
talking
like
about
him.
That
Hold
guy,
on.
not to everybody.
Hold
I'm
on,
saying to
friend.
that guy, I'll be yes, that's a good guy.
Yeah, we're talking about collective though. We're
This
not
is
talking about
collective.
I don't
You
look at
talk-
people collectively. That's not good.
And that's probably why. And you know what? You've demonstrated and identified many of black people's problems by not looking collectively. That's why they are socially and economically low on a collective level, and they not benefit from the benefits, right, of collective betterment. You see? That's how you hold on. That's how you have a.
oppress people. You oppress people when you start looking at them collectively.
But if you look at
We're
them
not talking
collectively in a
about-
good
we're
way,
not- we're
but
not
if you look
talking
at them
about-
collectively in a good way,
Bro,
there's no problem with
our outlook on another nation is not collectively. It's not to oppress them.
No.
It's to uplift ourselves. This we need to get rid
Yeah.
of this misnomer.
I understand what
We need to
you're
get rid of this misnomer.
least
But by
you're
us lifting ourselves, we're going to step on other people's necks. That is not the aim.
No, I agree
The
with you.
aim
I'm
is-
listening yourself. I'm saying if somebody else wants to come in and help you,
So that's individualistic. We're not-
Psychological.
we're not talking on that level, though.
yeah, it's individualistic. But eventually, you got to think collectively.
Let's try to get in the minds of black people.
All right.
Hold on, friend of mine. Hold on, friend. We've identified that black people have gone through an issue, and that very few people have come to our aid. Fair enough, because it's our thing, right? Now, I'm starting the conversation about us helping ourselves. Why are you talking about non-black people?
No, I'm saying.
I want you to tell me.
No, I agree 100% here. Black people collectively, they should think about themselves collectively and help
Firstly,
each other.
yeah.
But if individually, other people from other races want to come and
You
help
can't decline it.
They should be.
But no one has made.
Yeah.
No one has said yeah and no, but give me an example of that help being declined. How does that help decline?
I'm just saying.
For example,
I'm
if
making
I
a statement.
if I call a meeting, right,
Yeah.
and the meeting's for black people to discuss black issues,
Exactly.
that's for black people, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
But that's what it's about. Now, if me and you build a factory, yeah, we make clothing, we can go and trade it with Israel, we can trade it with Egypt, we can trade it with Peru, it doesn't matter, right? Because we're in a place of power, isn't it? But when it comes to building that power, we have to discuss that, we have to find out what is needed. But we can't do that by getting a meeting and having every single people who come in, because they're going to come with their own agenda, as they always demonstrate. Look at when they speak. It's always going to be because they're determined to do that. That's their nature. The only people who don't have that nature are indigenous Africans.
The foundation of
Yeah, we don't, because we have psychologically been conditioned to work for others. Yeah, and how do we know this? Every time I talk about black betterment, people talk about other people. That's the demonstration.
You're allowed to do that. If you want to talk about it amongst yourselves, only black people, you're allowed to do that. We can talk about it amongst ourselves, and if they want to talk about Arab issues among themselves, they can do that as well.
Right. But my thing is,
we're talking about it. But if they want to help you, I'm definitely allowing them.
we need to help ourselves.
Why do you think that?
Yeah, but brother, would you decline help?
Say individual.
If it will help you, if it's going to help you eventually.
If we're not established, we're trying to establish ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes, I would decline help from outside. Yeah, not on an offensive one. Yeah, but you have to think about agendas.
There is a value.
But not everybody has an agenda. I know you're talking generally. You're talking about.
Hold on.
The white people. Generally, yeah.
Right, we don't even want to reach a situation where it's a possibility. We want to eradicate all possibilities of that happening. So it's all going to be black effort.
Do you not agree? There's a value in people who have been mistreated and placed low.
No.
Come together, hold on, come together and
yeah.
work on themselves. Is that not valuable?
100%.
So then, if that's not valuable, then you don't need to help other people.
But what if somebody sincerely wants to help you and they're not?
You don't know what's in the people's hearts. You can't. It's not for us to look into the people's hearts.
And you can't look in, and you don't know 100% that they're not trying to help you.
Right. So I can only look at what's apparent. And when I'm looking at what's apparent, I'm looking collectively. I'm not looking individualistically.
Yeah, I know.
And we haven't been
it's
tasked.
Not always a good point.
We haven't been. That's not the point. We haven't been tasked of looking into the people's hearts. Yeah. At the end of the day, as black people, there's enough of us. Yeah. There's enough talent. There's enough skill. There's enough education between us to establish our own thing. We do not need the help of other people. Yeah. When the Japanese are doing things and stuff. Yeah. When they're building their technology. Yeah. They're on a pedestal because they have something everybody else wants. Yeah. They didn't bring anyone else in
to have
help
togetherness,
Right.
Yeah.
He's right. It's like look at the Jewish community.
So
now they have their own police.
After Pearl Harbor, when they went to America to study, they were specifically told, do not breed with those people. You bring the education back. You build. Yeah, that's what.
That's facts as well, bro.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Because they seem to be cultured and we seem to be barbaric.
Well, and
the image is put out there that you need other people to think for you.
Yeah, and this is what I'm saying, and brother, I respect, because you're actually a kind person, and through your kindness, you're saying, well, what if other people want to help us out? I'm saying psychologically, it's my job to make sure you never think that way ever again. Yeah. It's my job to make sure that when you talk about building, you think about how you can build yourself up without thinking of others to come and help you. Yeah, there's a value in that, isn't it? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And I'm saying this.
For years, you've tried things, and these people haven't come and got off the backside and help, so they're going to have to just look internal.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from.
I'm not black and I understand
I'll just say.
You hear what the bro said?
I hear what he said, yeah.
You see?
It's just that I just wouldn't decline.
I'm saying this, as a brother with Ikhwa from Morocco, from Algeria, from worldwide. I'm not, bro. Ask Raven, I've been battling with him from the start, from we got here now, and it's only now, I've sort of wrapped my mind around the fact that we need to do our collective effort on our own.
Yeah, 100%.
No one else, you'll be hard pressed. Al-Wala Bara doesn't come into the sake of, it doesn't come into dunya affairs, it comes into deen.
But what I was going to ask you was,
Tafadda, bro, you got to step on the couch now. You can't make comments on the man.
What I want to ask you is, who is black?
Who is black?
Who is black? That's what
okay, well, Africans are black.
Africans are black.
Identifiable indigenous Africans.
Who made the black term?
So here's what I've talked to you before. What you're going to say is the word black, right? The word black is a placement holder, right? We're talking about identifiable, melanated, indigenous African, if that word, what you would use that word, those people, right? Now I've said this before, I'm going to say again. When it comes to mistreating black Africans, we know who they are. When it comes to helping them, we don't know who they are, right? And you might subscribe to that same paradigm. Fair enough. What I'm saying is, by us talking like this, we will definitely be dedicated to no progression. Definitely, right?
What I want to ask you is,
go ahead.
Do all Africans share culture?
No, they don't.
No.
But look, I'm from North Africa,
Do all
bro.
Africans share language?
No.
Do all Africans share language?
No.
Do all Africans share a lineage?
No.
Do all Africans share genetics?
No.
Similar, they're shared, but it's
How are
different.
you clustering all those different?
Do they all share the
together?
struggle?
Huh?
Do they all share the struggle?
Don't all Muslims share a struggle?
Yeah, that's what binds us as Muslims.
Yeah.
Yes.
And our black
yeah,
struggle
yeah.
binds us as black
Do
people.
you get that
So-
concept? Do you get that
You can't
concept?
say no.
Black
You
is
said
a
yes.
social concept that was made in
Brother,
1776
do people
by a
identify-
German man.
Forget the
by
German
a German,
man.
German European man, and that social concept,
Right.
that same social concept was used to justify the enslavement of West Africans.
Okay.
So when you associate yourself as black, you're not only insulting yourself, you're insulting the ones that were
Okay,
enslaved.
now watch this, guys. This is how you
No,
deal
you
with
don't
this.
need to
Now
watch
watch this, yeah?
this.
No, because I'm here to teach. Hold on, fam. I'm here to teach, right?
Yeah?
Whatever you see that word black, but see the people we're calling black.
Yes.
Give them a new name.
I'm not going to give them names.
Let's call them teddy
No.
bears.
All right.
Now we're gonna help the teddy bears.
Why are you giving names?
It doesn't matter because what I'm saying is
they're a collective.
because
What collective was there?
I'm answering your
Melanated
question,
skin.
friend. Because
Right,
I suspect
so
you have
you're
you're
gonna
causing confusion, and I'm trying to get clarity, right? I'm saying this, right?
So you're united because everyone's got melanin.
Listen, well, it's like this, right? The powers that be have mistreated people for a collective phenotypical reason, right? There's a phenotype and a cultural type that binds people together, yeah? And they just so happen to come from Africa.
That phenotype's not shared by
Hold
everyone
on.
that has melanin.
Okay, well, what I'm
Doesn't
saying
matter.
is,
These people all identify themselves
There you
to
go,
be black.
right? And what I'm
They
saying is-
identify with it. The people that come into together for
you,
our struggle.
you do not identify as black, that's fine, but others do. So you don't have to join Black Betterment
I'm
Building.
not going to do it. I'm just
It's like
questioning who's black. That's not to know.
I've just told you, right? The indigenous African people, right? That's what I said. The indigenous people who were originally in the land and their heritage. Those people.
I'll ask you a question. If you were to go to Nigeria right now,
Right.
or Ghana,
Right.
and you were to ask them, who are you? Are they going to tell you first, I am
Listen,
black?
If you ask them, are they black? Would they say yes or no?
But no, if you ask them,
Brother,
who are you?
it's
You
a
ask them,
misnomer. If you ask them,
Who
are
are
you
you?
black?
Doesn't
They
matter.
would
Facts,
identify
they'll
yes.
say yeah. Of course they'll
No,
say
no,
yeah, but I
if you
get
ask
where you're
them,
coming
who are
from as
you?
well.
They're not going to say, I am black. What are they going to say? I am Yoruba, I am Igbo, I am this, I am that. They're not
Brother,
going to
if
say
you ask
I'm
me,
black.
if you ask me what I am, yeah, I'm gonna say I'm a Muslim. If you ask me what type of Muslim I am, I'm gonna go back into it. I'm gonna go deep. I'm
I'm a
Salafi.
black
I
Muslim.
follow the Salaf. Whatever.
Eventually it's gonna come to it.
Brother, it's what
Black
you're
is
doing.
your
It's a red
social
herring.
I've just told you.
Right.
it-
So
it-
this social construct is binding us all together.
No,
Yeah.
it isn't binding us. You can't bind people that don't
Brother,
share language.
you don't want to
share
get
language.
brother.
That don't share culture.
They
that
share
don't
a struggle. You might not want to be binded. You might not want to identify yourself as black.
So you're
that's
saying-
fine.
Teddy bear,
Don't identify
teddy
yourself
bear.
as black.
Sorry?
But there
We're
are
teddy bears.
What?
Let's call ourselves teddy bears.
So you're all-
You don't want the word black, we call teddy bears. Now can we do a teddy bear betterment movement? Can we do that?
No, you should only come together with Islam, nothing else other than Islam.
Okay, now I'm glad you said that because that's the crux of it. We've identified that within Muslim communities,
Yes.
right? That the darkest melanated African people
Yes,
are mistreated.
that's
So
ignorance. That's
hold on.
ignorance. Because
So
that
what you
problem
need to
with the
do,
hadith
what you
and
need
the
to do
Quran.
as a teddy bear or a non-black person is go amongst wherever these groups are and tell them stop.
Go solve the hadith. Go solve it then.
Go
brother.
solve it. Yeah.
Solve
You
it.
give them da'wah, you teach them
Who's
the Quran.
doing that?
Huh?
Who's doing that? Are they not learning? Are they not learning people amongst their communities?
they're
Not doing that.
ignorant people.
All of them are ignorant.
The ones that are racist are ignorant.
Are all of them ignorant?
The ones that are racist
This
are
is
Right,
why
so that-
They're
we're where we
ignorant
are.
because
So that
the
means
religion
that-
teaches
right,
not to be
so there's-
racist.
Tayyip.
Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said,
So-
"I'm not
so-
Arab,
so-
and doesn't have a superiority
so
over
there's-
Arabs."
So they're
Tayyip,
ignorant.
so
they're
there's-
ignorant. It's
Tayyip.
not.
They're
Let's
ignorant
go.
and arrogant as well.
Wait,
The
let's
think-
solution is
Tell
Islam.
them to
Are
stop
they-
mistreating
Yeah,
teddy
yeah,
bears.
yeah.
Wallahi,
Tell
you
them to
can-
stop
you
mistreating
can-
teddy
That's
bears.
right.
Are you
Let's
telling
go.
me that these du'at al-ulama are ignorant
I didn't
of the
say the
prophets?
ulama ignorant.
Of the
No, he
of the
didn't.
prophets?
I said
He said
the
the
Muslims-
of the
racist
prophets.
Muslims.
The
The
racist
racist
Brother,
Muslims.
brother.
Alright,
Once
clear
again,
first, man.
these are conversations. See, these conversations go nowhere. So here's the solution.
No, the
You,
solution
as a
is
non-black
Islam and
person,
hadith,
okay.
nothing else.
You as a non-black person, you go to the Muslim community and tell them stop mistreating teddy bears.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna get the teddy
No, we're
bears.
gonna go
Hold
tell
on.
the Muslims
I'm gonna get
stop
the teddy
mistreating
bears.
people.
I'm gonna. Okay, you
Yeah,
can do
this
that.
is thing
Yeah,
again, this
yeah,
is
yeah, no, but
Kumbayarism.
we have to forget. We have to forgive him. He's young and he doesn't know yet. We have to forgive him.
Something more. Are the Rohingyas black?
I've given you a solution.
Are Palestinians black? Are Palestinians black?
See, this is the thing I'm saying. It's the melanated people, yeah, that need to be convinced the more because
Yeah, I know.
they're stuck in this wormhole, bro.
I don't
You're
associate
talking about Rohingya, bro.
melanin.
The plight of the Rohingya is how old?
I don't associate
The plight
myself
of the
with-
Rohingya is how old? Name me African nation right now that is being oppressed.
It is
A black
ignorance.
melanated nation that's being oppressed right now.
I don't
Name
care
me.
about melanated people.
Name me.
I
You
don't
don't.
care-
Exactly.
I don't
So
care
then
about
you don't
I only
identify.
care about people.
Khalas. No, brother.
Yeah,
That's
he's saying
wrong.
he cares generally.
If he cares about people,
if
he cares,
You don't care about
Brother,
melanated
it's
people.
a lie. It's a lie.
You're practicing deception.
It's a lie. Yeah, that is
You are openly. Even though you ever hold on, you are openly practicing deception.
I don't
Are
discriminate.
melanated brothers human?
I don't.
Are melanated brothers human?
Of course,
Now,
100%.
I don't
Now,
discriminate.
I don't discriminate.
Let me
melanated
speak.
from
Hold
non-melanated.
on. Let me speak, right? Now let me speak. Let me speak.
Other people do it. They
One
want to
time,
better their
yeah.
situation, so they have to do it
Yeah.
from a black people's lens.
Yeah.
They can't do it from people who
Now,
are
this
feeling
black brother has talked about an oppression. He says he wants a solution, and we've found one. And
What's
you've
the
come.
solution? What's
The
the
solution is the people who are mistreated coming together to work on the mistreatment, right?
What are they going to come together for?
So
Because
it-
they're melanated.
No, they're going to come to they're going to come together, work on economics, health, literature, just general building that every other people group does, right? You don't relate with that. What I'm saying is, it's like this, right? You might not want to identify as a black person or a teddy bear, but as a black bear and builder, the door's open for you, and you're always welcome to join. If you don't join, that's fine.
No, I'm
if
not
you
gonna
want to
say
go
it's
around,
innovation.
that's fine. And what I recommend you do is go amongst the people you're saying and do what you have
What
to
is
do.
the innovation?
Yeah.
Innovation. Are you coming together?
Define it.
Are you coming together?
Brother,
Are you coming together?
define
Is
it
it
innovation.
from the Quran? Is it from the
Define
Quran?
it.
Is it
Define
from the Hadith?
Define
Yes or
it.
no?
Define it
Is it
innovation.
from the Sunnah?
Brother,
Is it from the Quran?
define it innovation.
Is it from the Quran or is it from the Hadith?
You said
Are you
innovation.
coming
Brother,
together? Are you coming
Akhi,
together on
I
the
told you
Quran?
last
We're in
week.
circles
Yes
right
or
now.
no? Yes or
Brother,
no?
last week the brother issued a fatwa to another brother, yeah,
didn't give no
and he
fatwa.
didn't bring any delete for it.
I
And I
didn't
said
give
to him,
no-
when you mentioned something,
I didn't
the
make no
brother,
fatwa, it was
brother.
I'm not talking about
He made a
I
fatwa,
didn't
yeah,
make time,
talking
guys.
about such and such is halal and such and such is not haram.
Is McDonald's halal? Yes or
And
no?
I said to him,
McDonald's halal?
I said
Yes
to
or
him,
no?
I said to him, bring the,
explain
I said
that
to
to
him, I said to him, bring the delete.
No, it's
I
talking
said, no
about-
matter what you're gonna say,
Yeah,
bring the delete.
but ain't a delete. Whatever you say, bring the evidence to
Right.
that's what
So I said to him,
delete okay, like.
what's your delete?
We're diverting now. We're diverting.
Of course we
I
are.
only mentioned,
Now,
that's a
brother, why are
diversion.
you so dedicated in
The delete from
undermining?
McDonald's not being
Bro.
haram.
Hey, you man need to listen a
McDonald's being
bit.
haram is
This is
Learn to
this is
listen, innit?
black people. in
They'll
this
tell you it's not
right?
halal.
This is what I'm
Learn.
saying.
They'll
My
tell you.
friend, you are becoming the author of confusion. I know you don't want to
I'm
be.
not being awful
You might be.
confusion.
Yes.
What it is, you're bringing innovation and you're bringing fitness.
I said, what's the
That's what-
innovation,
I'm
brother?
telling you-
Define an
I'm giving
innovation.
you
Don't
the-
mention
I'm
words.
giving you the innovation. We're not getting
Define,
nowhere like this, man.
define innovation. Define
That's how I'm
it.
Something that was introduced after the Prophet and after
Now
the
it's like
Prophet,
this.
what the Prophet
I'm
taught.
open
Are
here.
you coming together?
No,
Is it-
that's
But
not
he
the
Can you
didn't
explain,
even-
bro? Can you explain it to them?
What,
that's not the
what?
definition of bid'ah. Yeah.
Yeah, explain.
Yeah.
Bid'ah is
Listen to him,
something-
listen to him, listen to him,
innovation,
listen to him.
yeah?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
an action,
Listen,
yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, invented, yeah?
Yeah.
By which you seek closeness with
Exactly.
Allah.
I'm not
with
saying this
it.
is a bid'ah.
Alright,
I'm not
listen,
saying
bro,
this is
let
a
finish,
bid'ah.
let finish,
It's
let
an
Yeah.
action not done by the Prophet, which someone has come with, yeah?
Yeah.
Seeking the pleasure of Allah by
All the
doing that
time
action.
Yeah, the three
Right,
first
that's
generation.
an innovation.
Yeah.
Is this
That's an
movement
innovation.
seeking the pleasure of Allah?
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say
So
that.
then it's
I said innovation. I didn't
brother,
say that.
that is an innovation.
Yeah.
The innovation is seeking the pleasure of
Yeah,
Allah.
yeah, yeah. I didn't say it's I know.
So when, for example, when someone does
the Quran and the Sunnah.
when a brother says when a brother does 1,000 rakah salah, yeah, that's ibadah. There's tahrim and it's haram because the Prophet ﷺ didn't do it,
Didn't
and
do
the
it.
person doing it is doing it seeking the aid of Allah.
Exactly.
So by doing that, what he's
Yeah.
saying is he's doing an action that the Prophet
It has to
never
come down to
informed us
religion.
of.
It has to come down to
Right,
religion.
it's a
yeah.
dini thing. This thing
Yeah,
is
it's
a
a deen
sake
thing.
of,
Yeah, I know.
this is a dunya.
It's a dunya matter.
That's
Yeah, I
all.
know. I
Yeah,
know.
and every
Let me speak. He said it.
The asl
Bro, he's
of every,
listened to you for
let
long.
me
Yeah.
just make one qaida, yeah?
Yeah.
The asl, yeah, of what's in the dunya, yeah,
Yeah.
is ibaha, is permissibility, up until you have a proof from the deen to say
That
it's
is
haram.
haram.
And
Yeah, I
by
know.
opposite,
In the dunya, everything's halal until proven haram.
exactly.
Yeah, I understand. 100%.
So what they're establishing
yeah, yeah.
Brother,
I never said it's- I never said it's bid'ah.
might speak. No, hold on. You can
Yeah.
have this.
I'm gonna
Now,
respond.
here's what it is, right? I don't know for a second. I don't know Jindal's name, but I suspect you think I'm here to cause confusion and to divide people.
I didn't
right?
say that.
No, because you're saying I'm enjoying this, right? And I'm saying that even though you're going to try to slander me, you're always welcome to join anything I'm doing.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back
No.
to the point
See, so the disrespect you're trying to show me, I expect it, right? And there has to be a historical context of why you feel that way. But when I'm talking to the melanated Muslim brothers, they're not getting the same vibes. So I need to know what I'm doing that's scaring you so much, where you will come in a whole shadow thing, give all these words, and start saying I'm enjoying people arguing. I need to know what have I done to do that.
Alhamdulillah.
No, it's like this. Can you answer that question? What have I done?
I'll tell you what.
Tell me.
When the Muslims join, you know, there's a black culture.
A black culture.
So when they join,
What's a black culture?
What's a black culture?
Man? Oh, black
Yeah, but now it's a German word. Yeah, but he's saying
when you come together,
don't
when
be
you
a
come
hypocrite.
when you come together with something that's not from the Quran and that's not from the Hadith, and the Muslims join with other people that are not from the Quran,
he doesn't understand that. He doesn't understand that. Let him finish.
Yeah.
they'll eventually deviate.
No, they mean it's a
So
world
you have a
affair. That's what
fear.
it is.
You fear that if black people come together, they'll stop being Muslim.
Yes, they'll eventually deviate and they'll start doing.
And so that's your fear.
Yes.
Okay. So then, just say your fear, so we can work on solutions, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't have to
That's
start
the code of conduct.
demonizing people. You just say,
I
look.
didn't demonize.
Well, bro, you're saying I'm laughing at people arguing, and
saying
I know what that
You
means.
said it's a bid'ah.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is any Muslim that's involved in it is sinful.
Yeah.
That's by what you're saying.
You're not coming together, but it's not.
Now we understand that.
No, it's
that's
not-
why I'm
it's not bid'ah,
That's
it's
why
not
we have to
bid'ah.
ask
I didn't
questions.
say it. Yeah.
But that's why we have to
It's
ask
not
questions,
bid'ah.
don't we?
That's it, but-
So
but-
you-
but-
invasion is a bid'ah.
I know
I used the wrong word.
Yeah, you
Okay,
used the
use
wrong
the
word.
wrong word.
He actually, Raven, he admitted it. He used the wrong word.
One
Yeah.
thing.
One at a time.
Okay, the only problem I would have in joining a group here, which black people with non-Muslims and Muslims involved as well, is that certain Muslims who are not of maybe different colour, are gonna be banned from joining that group.
It's not.
To be honest,
You use the word ban.
I can't be in a group here with my Muslim brother, whoever, even though I understand where you're coming from. With my other Muslim brother, he's not allowed to join.
I'm glad you said
I
that.
disagree with them. I disagree with them if they make their own group. Where I'm not allowed to
And
join.
that's why-
That's what they do,
Yeah,
and they've
but
already done
they're
that.
wrong.
But it doesn't matter though.
Yeah,
But
they're
you know,
wrong.
but they are
One
talking
time-
out about them.
No,
They have that.
I'll talk about it right now.
Remember, I'm glad you said that. And I want
those groups aren't for
I
you,
want
so
you
it
to
doesn't
say it
matter
to the
if you join or
camera.
you don't join.
Because
I
hold on,
disagree with
family.
them religiously.
You've
On a religious level,
identified.
if I'm a Muslim and they're not letting me join their group,
One at a time.
I believe they're wrong religiously.
Even though it's pertaining to Pakistani,
Yes,
you think
yes.
we're not Pakistani.
Doesn't
So
matter.
what? So what is against?
Allah made us brothers in the religion, right? It's
Yeah,
not
but
about
your
skin colour.
Dola is not the same as them. So what they're affected by in their
I
Dola is
believe
not
they're wrong.
necessarily what you're affected by, and they're
But
okay
you
to
say
do that.
another Muslim brother is banned from ever
No,
joining.
When you
Yeah, I know.
talking about
you
ban.
can use the word ban.
No, but can I join?
My friend,
Can a Muslim brother join?
Ah.
Can I join a Pakistani group?
Please.
I can't.
Hey, yo, bro, listen to
Bro,
this.
bro,
You can,
Hey,
I'm
listen
sure
to
you
the
can
brother.
frequent their clubs or whatever. You could go there and sit amongst them.
Listen.
But they'd be like, "What are you doing?"
We have to have a
But
dialogue.
that's thought,
Listen.
that's
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah, yeah,
I believe
yeah,
that's
yeah.
the
Ask
devil.
questions.
To say
Black
as your
people,
Muslim brother,
why
I'm
is
not
it
allowed
that
to join
non-black
the group
people
as
get
well.
this but
And
black
for
people
me to make my
don't?
own
What
group
has
here where
happened
they're
in
not
our
welcome is wrong as
education
well.
where this is the
I don't
dedication,
think
where
so.
you're talking
Two
about
wrongs
just...
don't make a right.
Listen,
I think it's a
hold on, talk to me. I'm talking about
Yeah, but it's a
right?
religious thing. I'm talking about it from a religious angle.
Okay, that's
so you
okay.
will understand it.
Okay, from a religious standpoint, right? But we've identified that people within the village are practicing their own community betterment.
They're wrong. I'm saying they are wrong. Religiously, they're wrong.
Okay, so what we could do is we could...
But I don't wanna be wrong like them. I don't wanna be wrong like
Hold
this.
on, friend. We could stand there and go, you're wrong, and be low, or we could just try to work on ourselves. And that's what I'm pushing forward, isn't it, right? It just makes common sense.
I'm saying from a religious angle, Allah said He made us brothers in the religion.
Okay, mate.
You understand? Okay, so for me
we know this.
for me to be in a
Every
group,
Muslim knows this.
because of his skin color, he's not allowed to join my
Brother.
group here. I believe that I'm sinning religiously.
That's because you've
And if
been
he makes his
culturally
own group where
compromised.
I'm not allowed to join as a Muslim, I believe he's sinning. That's what I'm saying.
See this group?
Two wrongs don't make a right. That's what I'm saying.
This group doesn't.
Even though I know where you're coming from, I know.
You don't know where I'm coming
Religious-
from. You actually don't know where I'm coming from.
Religious-
If you knew where I was coming from, you would demonstrate when you speak. When you speak, you demonstrate you don't know where I'm coming from. That's what I need to speak to show you where I'm coming from, innit?
I understand where you're coming from.
You don't, because you've just demonstrated.
I'm trying to explain.
You said it's
I'm
wrong.
saying,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying
Raven,
what
let him
you're doing is
explain.
a reaction to something wrong happening to you, but the way you're going about it from a religious perspective, I believe it's wrong to say my brother's not allowed to join. Whether he's skin color.
Okay, he's trying to say that brothers are not using that religious perspective to the extent where it's helping them at all. So he's not coming from a religious perspective. Because those brothers who should be implementing it, are not. They're not going and helping black people. So he's not seeing the problem of non-black people not joining in.
I'm saying any group you
non-black
make,
people weren't helping
I'm saying
them in
any
the
group,
first
any
place.
Muslim makes where other Muslims are barred for whatever reason, I believe that Muslim who made that group is sinning.
Based on
Who
what?
made the group?
Because Allah's made us brothers in Islam, right?
Yeah, so
how can you ban your brother?
Me joining a group, yeah, that is specific to a certain matter that doesn't concern my
I wouldn't
brother,
say it's sinning.
and me excluding him from
should
that.
concern everybody.
Yeah,
No,
I wouldn't say it's sinning. Listen,
Prophet said one ummah, one nation.
one ummah, one nation.
You told me
Allah said, yeah.
No,
This is the same
I wouldn't
verse.
say.
Bro, wait, can I ask something? I don't agree or
We are one
disagree with you.
nation.
I don't disagree or disagree
I
with
agree
you.
with
yeah?
we are one
Let me speak,
nation.
let me speak, let me
One
speak.
nation, one body. If one part of the body feels pain, all the body should feel pain.
Yeah.
If they're not feeling the pain, yeah, they're wrong. I'm saying they're sinning.
I don't disagree or agree with you.
You're
I'm
one
just
body.
asking.
No, I wouldn't say it's sinning. Making the group that's not.
I'm only the arm.
Abu Talha,
And
feel.
that's it. No,
Listen,
the
Abu
whole
Talha.
body.
Alright,
That's what I
Abu
feel.
Talha, listen.
I feel it.
Akhi billah
Listen,
alaykum.
I'm suffering. They're
Let
sinning.
me
Allah
end the
will deal with it.
confusion.
That's what I'm saying.
Let me end the confusion.
Go on.
Right?
I don't want to fall into the hole.
Hold on, because you talk quite a lot. Now listen quite a lot, right? Here's what it is, yeah? We've recognized that black people have collectively gone through a challenge, right? So hold on. So what we do is we collectively come together and we make institutes to benefit ourselves, right? That doesn't mean that you as a melanated Muslim brother can't help this gentleman on an individual level. It just means you're not going to resurrect institutions dedicated to helping his community group.
yeah.
That's what it is.
You're not going to
right?
sit on the board.
Yeah,
That's all.
I believe that's wrong. We're one jama'ah, one body.
Yeah, he
We
said
cannot
it's
get-
wrong Islamically
People don't
to
do
exclude the
that.
person
I know,
from helping you.
because
That's what
it's
he's saying.
Allah
Working
to deal with them.
departments to help
I don't want to be dealt with
No.
in the same manner as them.
Akhi,
I think they're wrong.
You making a group is not a sin. It's not a sin.
I condemn them. for
This is
God's
why
sake,
black
man,
people.
come on.
No, he doesn't know. The thing he doesn't know.
Abu Talha, listen, bro, listen.
He doesn't know. We have to forgive them. He doesn't know.
Listen, we're not saying we're excluding our brothers. We're saying we're building something for ourselves. Why is it that every time we think about building something for ourselves, it has to include every other ethnic group? It doesn't have to.
Because the deen teaches that we're what they're like. We're
Allah
like
made us
this.
one and we've split. And that's the reality.
That's sinning. Then we have to come back and be like this, don't we? We have to come back. Yeah.
We're not talking about deen. If I see my brother on the street and he's being oppressed, I'm
Yeah.
going to help him.
You're gonna help him,
I'm going
yeah.
to help him. That doesn't mean that my economics with Raven has to include him
He's
too.
talking specifically religion.
But
That's
yeah,
what he's
so
talking about.
deen is,
From
a,
religion
deen is
perspective.
one thing.
Yeah.
Deen,
It's like a
listen,
business deal. Maybe it's going on between two Pakistani brothers, and there's no one else involved in it. But it doesn't mean that they're against.
A business deal is something else.
No, this what do you think we're talking about?
we're not talking about deen. I'm not saying I'm going to take Raven's side over the
We're not
brother.
trying to convert anyone or
That's not what I'm saying.
Why would you do that? What, see,
I'm not
and
saying-
that's what I'm saying. You're demonstrating you don't know what we're talking
I'm
about.
talking
That's
about-
why you have to listen.
I'm not talking about
Maybe
what
you've
you're
got
saying.
that perspective
I'm
from
just
other
talking from
people.
a religious perspective.
Now, who have been telling? Because I'm assuming a non-black person has been talking to you because this isn't a natural way of thinking. It's not a natural way of
Don't you see
thinking.
that's condescending to say that? Yeah, a non-black person has been talking to me as a black
I'm
person
asking this question
and convinced me that's
because-
kind of condescending. You're pushing kind of racism. Your racism that you're rejecting.
Listen.
You're pushing on a black person saying I'm
now
being
I will
conditioned
answer your question.
by
Now
a
answer your question.
non-black person.
Week to week, it's been demonstrated that if someone, it has not lived in a situation, they cannot have empathy. They cannot have sympathy, right? So that dialogue that you're speaking has been spewed week to week from non-black people. So when a black person says I can't help black people because it's racist, that isn't a natural thing to
I
say.
never said that. I never said that.
That's what you
Can I
just
say
said.
something? Can I say
You
something?
just
I said we
said.
can help black people. Well, I'm saying from a religious perspective, from the Quran, Allah said the Muslims, whoever you're race,
Okay, here's the
is
solution.
one
for you.
nation. We're
Okay,
one
you're
nation.
right. Here's the solution.
So for me to say I'm a
you
as
a black Muslim, you go to the non-black people who are practicing any form of racism or any kind of group where it's just Pakistan. Hold on.
What do you call me?
As a black Muslim,
Yes, thank
go
you.
to a all the non-black Muslims go into their institutes and try to tell them not to practice.
No, they're wrong.
No. I'm
How are they wrong,
No,
Akhi? How are they
no.
wrong?
No. This is the solution.
I'll say you
go
are
tell
wrong,
them.
dead
No,
wrong.
Because you're moving from the
You
teaching
do
of
that.
the
You
Prophet.
do that, and while you do
You are
that,
dead wrong.
we'll
You have
do
to make-
better.
Carry the
We'll
Prophet
do better.
and the-
No.
Muslim.
Here's
That's
what
wrong.
I want you to go. Tell them
to the
that.
Ishaqis and tell them to marry the Hawiyah.
Yeah.
And tell them to let him live down as well. Yeah, and tell them to let him down as well.
No.
Yeah, see,
Hold on. You do that and let us come back and let us know what happened.
Exactly.
I want you to come back. No.
I'll start with my Somali brothers
Yeah,
first.
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
tell them tribalism is wrong.
Yeah.
Tribalism
لِتَعَارَفُوا.
from a religious perspective is wrong. Dead
Exactly.
wrong.
You were given tribes to know each other and become
And
brothers.
in Somali it's called Qabiyalat. Somali is called Qabiyalat.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
This is get water, right? So I told you.
It's from Jahiliyyah.
If you can go to them, let me know what they say. Come back and go, okay, I went to the Pakistanis, to the Arabs, to this, and I tried to make them stop betting themselves, and here's what they told me.
I'm saying religiously they're wrong.
Yeah.
This energy you're giving here, give it over there, because it's like this.
I will.
Hold on.
Anybody.
If black people
Because
are
Somali
here
brothers
and
say,
others
I'll
are
tell them
here,
myself.
we don't need that dialogue. Give it to the people people who have a high economic standing, not to the ones at the bottom. So go to the ones who are dominating, not the ones who are dominated. That makes sense, right?
I know. From you, as a non-Muslim, you can make your group. I support it. I'm like, look, that's a good group.
He's talking from Islam, from a religious perspective. That's what he's talking from, yeah.
For me to divide and say, oh, I'm not going to be my Muslim.
First of all, you're not dividing. You're not dividing. Let me give you an example, right? If we look on a collective basis, let's just say that Arabs are here, right? And Chinese are here, and black people are here, right? Yeah. If you want equality, that means everyone has to go in the same place, right? That means you have to build people up.
Of course, I agree.
Build them up.
I agree. Listen, I agree.
But if we build everyone together, here's what happens.
I agree.
This what happens, isn't it? We never become on the equal footing.
I agree with you.
Are you looking at the diagram?
I don't disagree with you.
What if this nationality helps this nationality? Yeah.
So black people have to be uplifted and supported, but that does not require me to be part of a group where my Muslim brothers not welcome. All I'm going to say is, we're still going to help black people, make sure that they get up.
I'm glad you said that.
And I will.
I'm going to ask you. I'm glad you said, because what you've defined is something that is not tangible.
I do not agree.
Okay, give me.
What's stopping me from giving money to black people?
Look, first of all, money. We don't need money, because charity is not what
money.
We need.
Education. What's stopping me from educating?
Are you doing it?
No, what's stopping me?
Are you doing it?
I'm going to.
No, but listen. Tell me.
I do. Actually, I do give money.
Okay, so what?
Is he in a position just to do it on his own now?
Yeah. What I'm saying is, individualistically, right, it's very challenging to do. That's why you have to come together. Exactly. So this whole, I'm going to do my own. You're saying it, but that's easy word.
No, he didn't say I'm going to do it. He said I'm going to do it as a group with the Muslims. That's what he said.
I'll do it with this brother.
He's going to do it with him, everyone.
I say to him, we're not going to start with anybody else. We're going to start with the black people because they're at the bottom.
Exactly.
And I will say to him, if he doesn't agree with me, then that's on him, innit? But I'm still going to do my thing. I'm going to help black people.
Well, when you've done this and you can demonstrate it, let me see the manual.
Because he's actually trying to do something now.
Because I'm actually doing something that is actually tangible now.
No, listen, you're not Muslim.
I've had Christians, Jews say the same thing. Like, I'm going to go with my white Christian brother and we're going to help the black people.
Raven, no one's saying you're wrong. You're not wrong. What you're doing is good.
I get what you're saying, but I'm giving my testimony now, right? So I'm saying, and they go, yeah. And what happens when I see them? They don't do nothing, innit? Because it's not tangible. What it is, it's black people realizing that others are not included. It's like, others who are not included. The program is coming in. They have to be included. That's what's happening.
That's what it feels like to me as well.
Nah, it's not.
Nah, you're right. For me, as a non-black person, that's how I feel like they're seeing it. As in, I'm not included, therefore it's wrong.
Thank you.
I'm from Libya, innit? I don't feel like Libyans are going to be upset about black people having their own community and trying to rise.
You see,
I understand where you're coming from. I understand where you're coming from.
I don't mind you being upset. It's not about that. It's about me standing before Allah, I don't want to do something that's against the Quran.
No, I understand where you're coming from.
I'm only religious.
But at the same time, I haven't got enough knowledge to know that, innit?
Let me say something. 1 second.
Yeah.
So imagine everyone here. We recognise a black man there is mistreated.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let's say we identify that.
Yes, they are mistreated. Yeah.
Now you can educate everyone here
Yes.
to not do it and follow the Sunnah,
Exactly.
and the Quran, But the black man shouldn't have to wait for that to educate all these people. He just can do his own thing.
He should help himself. Of course.
He should help himself.
Yeah, that's what
All
they're
they're saying is, all they're saying is, you can't wait for people to be educated according to the Quran and Sunnah. Black men just come together and help themselves.
It's not just with your principle.
Because educating the masses who are ignorant and treating black people a certain way, we can't wait for that. The black people just help themselves.
He's not saying that's wrong, but he's not saying that's wrong.
I 100% agree with black people coming together helping themselves. But I'm saying if my Muslim brother wants to say, I want to come in and help black people, and for me to say no,
it's wrong, 100%.
Religious angle, not from personal or I feel bad for him. It's not that. It's from a religious angle. I believe I'm sinning. Because Allah made us one nation, and for me to say, my brother, we're not going to welcome here. We're part of our own nation or own
Right.
ummah.
Alright, so guys,
I don't want to contradict Allah.
Guys, one at a time. This is the structure we get, right?
So what I'm saying, why don't
I know that. You're going to stand before Allah. You're going to be judged.
do that?
I'm not going to do the same.
Instead, you're saying no, don't do nothing.
For me, it's not. You came in to help black people, and I was like, my brother, come walk with me. Help black people. And the other ones are
Same time from Speaker's Corner.